The Silo Season 2 cast remains mostly intact for the upcoming third season of the sci-fi apocalyptic series, except for 2 major deaths. At the same time, with the 2 deaths come at least 2 major character entrances that were teased in the final moments of the Season 2 finale. Based on the novel trilogy by Hugh Howey, Silo takes place after a world disaster where the outside world is uninhabitable, and the survivors live in multi-story silos created and controlled by what remains of the US government. Taking place 350 years after the inciting event, a woman named Juliet, Rebecca Ferguson, questions what the survivors have been told their entire lives, as many believe their leaders have been lying about the survival chances outside the silos. In the second season, Juliet leaves the silo and finds a second silo, while the people in her original home have started a rebellion. It all comes to a head when Juliet learns the truth and returns, only to end up in a major cliffhanger ending that changes everything. Juliet, Rebecca Ferguson, survived. When the first season of Silo ended, the main character was separated from the rest of the cast and remained apart from them for the entire second season. Juliet, Rebecca Ferguson, left her silo and then made her way across the barren land. While a rebellion was rising in her old silo, Silo 18, Juliet found a second silo, Silo 17, and it was here that she found a horrifying situation. She met a man there named Solo, Steve Zahn, and realized that everyone in his silo had been killed by a safeguard. Juliet spent a lot of time in Silo 17 with Solo Jimmy, and she learned about the dangers coming from a more powerful form of governing body, one that could kill everyone in her silo with the push of a button. As a result, Juliet raced out to return to her silo to warn everyone and figure out how to shut off the safeguard. That is when she encountered Bernard at the entrance of Silo 18. He is there with a gun and, while Juliet thinks he wants to stop her, she realizes Bernard wants to end his own life. That is when the cliffhanger hits. Juliet learned how to stop the safeguard process from happening, which gave Bernard a small moment of hope. That ended when the small room they were in burst into flames because of the sterilization process. That ended their story in Season 2, but news has already come that Juliet survives thanks to her wearing firefighter gear instead of a containment suit. Juliet will also be around for the rest of the series, according to Ferguson, via TV line Bernard. Tim Robbins died. Tim Robbins as Bernard in Silo Season 2, Episode 10, Laughing. While Juliet survived for the third season of the Silo cast, Bernard was not so lucky. Throughout the entirety of Season 2, Bernard saw his grip on power weakening, and he lost hope. He watched as the people in his silo lost confidence in his leadership and rebelled. He knows, more than anyone else, that the outside air really is toxic, yet he watches his people fight to get out to prove that it is safe. By the end of the second season, Bernard just wants to end it all. When Juliet returns to the silo, she finds Bernard on his way out with a gun in hand. The gun is a failsafe for him, so he can end things quickly if the pain of the toxins becomes too much. Bernard chooses to die by suicide so he can feel free for the first time in his life. However, he finds some hope when Juliet tells him she knows how to turn off the safeguard, but then it is too late. The flames arise and engulf Juliet and Bernard. Silo showrunner Graham Yost admits that Bernard died. Bernard's death is simple. Juliet was wearing firefighter gear, but Bernard was only in a containment suit, which is not fireproof, at least not to the level of the flames in that room. Sims, common. Survived. Close-up of Robert Sims' face in Silo Season 2. Robert Sims is a character who was very important in the books, but has a much lesser role in the Silo cast. In the second season, Robert was preparing to continue to rise the leadership ranks in the silo. With Bernard and Lucas realizing that the people they answer to have no care or concern about the silo or the people there, and they could use the safeguard to kill everyone there without a moment's notice, the silo needs a new leader. That won't be Robert Sims. When Robert went to the vault with his wife Camille and his son, the archive told him and his son to leave, and clarified that Camille was who they want to possibly lead the silo with Bernard out of the picture. The archive doesn't care about Robert and knows that he likely doesn't have what it takes to lead the people and stop any rebellion, especially the one currently underway. Sims is best at following orders, and it sounds like his wife will be the one he answers to in Season 3. Camille, Lexandria Riley, survived. Robert Sims and Camille Sims looking at Bernard in their kitchen in Silo Season 2's Episode 5. In a shocking move that takes the story away from Hugh Howey's books in a way, Robert's wife Camille is who the algorithm wants to accept rather than her husband, despite his undying loyalty to the silo. What is different here is that Camille doesn't even exist in the books. With Juliet away, the show decided to go deeper into Robert's life, and that resulted in the series introducing his wife. Graham Yost revealed that with Alexandria Riley taking on the role, it was easy to see her getting more screen time. Via time in Silo Season 2, Robert Sims takes his wife Camille and son Anthony to the vault. However, the archive told Sims and his son to leave and only wanted to keep Camille there, and it sounds like the algorithm has big plans for Camille in the upcoming seasons and not Robert. There is a strong chance that the archive could be setting up Camille to take over as the new leader, replacing Bernard, which could really change the story from here on concerning the books. Martha, Harriet Walter. Survived. Harriet Walter as Martha Walker in Silo _. Martha Walker was put into a tough spot in Silo Season 2. Early in the season, Bernard blackmails Martha to become a spy for him on the mechanical level. Bernard knew there was the chance of an uprising, and he needed eyes and ears on all levels. She agrees to help, against her better judgment, to hopefully save her ex-wife, Carla, Clark Perkins. Bernard puts a camera in her workshop and orders her to stay there so he can hear all the plans set in motion.